Take a breath, Sugar. Oh, just quietly. Now, we have had some sporting superstars on this show. The fella beside me, his name is Tristan Miller. As of January 1 next year, he's going to attempt to run 52 marathons in 52 weeks. I don't care if he only makes the first one. That deserves a round of applause straight away. Now, mate, before you say anything, I just... It's 52 and 52. I'll just run you through his January. January 1, he's going to run in Zurich. January 7, Tiberias, Israel. January 17, Mumbai, India. January 24, Canary Islands, Spain. January 31, Marrakesh, Morocco. On August 7, he's doing Siberia. Then next day, August 8, Sweden. December 4th in Jamaica. Next day, December 5 in the Cayman Islands. What are you thinking?
Look, I'm up for a challenge. If it was easy, it'd be boring, right? So
a couple of marathons maybe, mate, but that's a challenge and a half. Well, where did this idea come from? This is a phenomenal achievement to try and set out technically, organisationally and physically. Yeah.
Look, I mean, it was a bit difficult to put it together in the first place. The idea came, like any good idea, comes from a variety of ideas. But basically, I got made redundant from my job, and I just thought that I was already training to do an ultra marathon over in South Africa. I went over to South Africa and I had some time to think. You can imagine I had like about 9 hours or so of running over there to complete the Comrades Marathon, and not necessarily during that time, but somewhere along the way I just decided I could do this more often and, you know, go travelling around the world, see awesome places and have the time of my life, and the only thing I have to do is knock off some marathons and make it cool and interesting to watch.
You haven't convinced me, Tristan. That's a good explanation. I'm far from Jimmy. What do you think?
Well, you lost your job and you decided that this would be a good idea. Did you think about getting a hobby?
Well, running is my hobby.
Yeah, right. And we mentioned that one of the places you're going to is Siberia. I mean, is it difficult to find a marathon every week all over the world?
Actually, the funny thing was that, I read in this distance running magazine, there's a calendar in the middle of this distance running magazine. I picked it up while I was doing the Canberra Marathon. There was a few hundred marathons on there. I thought, wow, that's pretty cool, but there were some glaring omissions, being like the London Marathon and Berlin. So I went online, like, you know, any good boy does, and found something more, looked for more. Found a guide, and it's got 1,200 registered marathons on it around the world.
There's a challenge.
If you criticise the Russian government, you get a free trip to Siberia.
There's a lot more to think.
Sorry, mate. Billy. Some of Billy's gags on this show fall a bit flat, Tristan. We can't read too much about that. Come on, Jimmy. That was a bit of
political humour.
There's a bit more. I'm going to go to toilet humour. Sorry. There's a bit more to think about than just running. I mean, there's obviously recovery that you need to take care of, but some of the locations we're looking forward to going to Delhi next year, Howie. Some of the locations that Howie's read out. There's hygiene stuff that you need to think about so that you don't get crook. I couldn't think of anything worse, firstly, running a marathon, but running it if you had gastro or something like that. You've got a lot to think about.
Absolutely. Look, bad things are going to happen, there's no doubt.
He sounds happy. That's the funny thing.
That's kind of part of the excitement of, you know, going out there and not really knowing how it's going to turn out. I don't know, but I'm going to go and have a red-hot crack and make the most of the experience.
If you go to Delhi, you might just have that.
Yeah, that's
right. Billy! He's finally got a good one in, Billy. You got us back one there. How much is it going to cost? It's not a cheap operation.
It's not. And you know, look, to Nicole's point, if something terrible happens to me, I'm taking a mate with me, and it's Darren Foss, the Dazzler, my crazy Kiwi buddy, and he's going to be, you know, put up to run 1 or 2 of these marathons if everything goes seriously wrong for me, so that later in the year I can maybe pick up a couple more and still complete the mission.
Just quickly, mate, you've got a website. You need to get a few sponsors on board. What's your website?
It's runlikecrazy.com. It's who I am, I guess. A little bit crazy, but it's a whole lot of running, so it should be fun to watch.
Yeah, put your hands together for Tristan Miller. 52 marathons in 52 weeks. Plenty more still to come on Thursday Night Live, including the big quiz. Next, we catch up with one of Australia's premier horse trainers, the First Lady of Racing, Gai Waterhouse.
It was a great help being TJ's daughter because TJ was such a superb trainer and teacher.
Then the sports brains are put to the test in the famous TNL quiz.